afternoon, people. Welcome back to Tank Slap Moto. Today I'm on something quite different. I bet you haven't even heard of this bike, and it is the Benelli 752s. It's a parallel twin. Around the 70 odd horsepower mark. And let me tell you, it's brilliant. It's a brilliant bike. It really is an unknown gem. And for those of you who don't know Benelli, it's Italy's oldest motorcycle manufacturer. They've recently been bought out by a Chinese company, but they're still designed in Italy. They're now assembled in China. But it's a cracking little bike. Cracking little bike. The engine derives from the old Benelli inline triple Tornado. They've lobbed the cylinder off. But this thing out of the crate just sounds awesome. You know, it's got a great finish on it. Lovely green this one is in. I mean, it's draped in quality components. I mean, it's got Marsocci front forks, fully adjustable, 50mm. It's not slow. Definitely got some grunt. I think this would be a perfect bike for someone who's just coming off of their A2 license, actually. Looking for a big bike. It's not scary at all. Handles brilliantly. I mean, look at these twisties, soaking these up. Full TFT display. I mean, it really does come kitted out. I think it retails at around £6,500 in the UK. But you're getting a lot for that. You're getting a lot of bike for that. I think it's definitely something that, if you're in the market for a middleweight naked bike, definitely check it out, because there's not much content online about it, I've noticed. But it's definitely it's a good bike. Not something you're going to see every day either. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen one. It definitely turns some heads. It's got that Italian flair to it, although it, albeit being built in China, it's got the Italian style to it. 6-speed gearbox. Yeah, I mean, I know you get the people that would always say, oh, you know, it's not really an Italian motorcycle, but I mean, nowadays, look at Triumph. Triumph's built in Thailand. They've got factories out in Thailand. I think most bike manufacturers do, really. The exception probably being Ducati and some of them manufacturers, but yeah, no, cracking bike. Not quite as punchy as, say, my XSR 700, which you'd suppose would be a comparable motorcycle. But there's not a lot in it. The only thing is the weight. It's quite a weighty bike. It's around 230 kilograms. But they do compensate with the quality front suspension, unlike the XSR, which has got a bit rubbish. Yeah, the rear shock is quite what appears to be quite budget, but it seems to me, since I've been riding it today, seems quite usable. But yeah, so I think it's a great first bike for someone, or even someone who just wants a nice bike. Maybe they're fed up with their litre sports bike, they want to slow things down. and still want the style and the, you know, it rides really well. The performance it's got good handling, and it's got a great induction roar, which I can't demonstrate for you right now as I'm stuck behind this Peugeot. Don't know if you might have heard it there, folks. The TFT, I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, the TFT displays are a real cool feature for this bike. What you're getting for the money, especially at night, it's brilliant. LED front light as well. So yeah, like I say, it's you're getting a lot, really. The way it rides, I can safely say now, it's a great riding bike. It's a great handling bike, you know. You're always dubious with certain obscure bikes whether or not they look the part, but they don't translate onto the road. But not the case with this. So if you're in the market for a middleweight street bike, definitely go and get a test ride. That's what I say anyway. Yeah, this bike, it's I must say it's great at slower speeds as well. They've really got the fueling right on this bike. I mean, compared to my XSR, this thing wipes the floor with it in terms of the low speed handling. It's not at all, you know, jolty under when you're snatchy throttle when you're opening and closing the throttle at slow speeds. It's really set up really well. So that's definitely a plus. They've got that right out of the crate. That's a big criticism today with most bikes is the fueling situation. You know, they're running them so lean nowadays to meet the Euro emissions, but Benelli have seemed to have got that right with this bike. There's someone green laning today. Always a good day for that. See if I can get round. Well, don't do it. Yeah, you done it. That's a hazard for all bikers, as you know. Got to think for people. So yeah, this bike, whilst it's around, say, I think it's at 78, 77 horsepower, it's by no means a slow bike. But what I would criticise perhaps is if you're an experienced rider, you know, and you're used to your Elite sports bikes or your supermotos and your hooligan bikes, if you will, you would probably be underwhelmed with this bike, because I think with the weight, 230 kilos plus yourself on the bike, you know, it's kind of a little bit underpowered, I have to say. So maybe underwhelming for someone who's used to hooligan bikes, but I still think it's a great bike overall, and a great bike for someone coming off their A2 licence, or an experienced rider that just wants to maybe take in the scenery instead of doing Mach 2. This bike has got a great accommodation for a tall rider. I mean, I'm 6'1", and I don't feel cramped up in it, although it's you're sort of a neutral position, maybe a tiny bit more sporty than my XSR, you know, a bit more going towards the sort of monster sort of riding position. But the one thing I will say is the seat isn't the most comfortable of motorbike seats, so whether or not they do an aftermarket seat, you know, you could put on, might be something to think about. I mean, it's a new bike, so maybe it just needs breaking in, but I don't know, just something to bear in mind. But like I say, good for a tall rider. So I guess you're all wondering what she shakes and bakes like, so without further ado, let's see what this girl can do. Shake and bake, boys, shake and bake. Let's see how she goes. Holy moly. She handles very, very well. think she was 230 kilograms when she gets going. So here she is, guys, the Benelli 752s, which I must say, in my opinion, is a very attractive looking bike. Very nice paint finish on the tank. There's the Marzocchi forks, fully adjustable. You can see the radial mounted Brembos. Not entirely sure what the exact type of brakes they are, but they're very good. I can vouch for that. I think they might be M40s, M4s. LED light. You know, I think these retailed around £6,500. It's a seriously nice bike for the money. Something that I'd recommend going and get a test ride. You know, you're getting a lot for the money, really. You're getting, you know, premium front forks, fully adjustable. You're getting a TFT display. There you can see. Great finish. Quite a punchy engine as well, and the quality's there, you know. I mean, look, you can see the welding, and this is the standard can, but it's got a lovely sound to it. She is a wee bit heavy. I think she's about 220 odd, 230 kilos. So, you know, but you don't really notice it, if I'm honest, on the road, because with suspension like this, more than compensates for the weight. You don't I mean, you can only really notice it at slow speeds. But yeah, if you're in the market for a bike like this, I think definitely find your local dealer and get a test ride. So there she is. It's a Jag.